All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Let's jump into this stuff because I get sick of all those YouTubers that's got all the, hey, get into MX and all these other guys and get into this and come buy my course and do all that. You know what? I just want to know what's happening. I want to know what people think and I want to see their charts. I want to get straight to business. So let's get right down to it because, I've been telling people for a long time, you should look at crypto. There's some things that are happening. The DXY, it's losing strength. The dollar is not doing great. And so probably in the next 3 or 4 months, you're going to start seeing people, maybe even sooner, you're going to start people talking, oh, have you seen crypto? Hey, we should get in. You're going to be buying at the high. Guys, don't buy the high. All right. I bought into XRP, 56 cents. It's at 287 right now. So get in now while you can because it's going to be too late when it starts going up. There's not going to be as much money made, but oh, it's going up. I got to hop in. The psychology, the feeling of losing out is going to get everybody. So you know what? If you like putting your finger in the pencil sharpener, by all means do that at $4 when XRP's up there, and then is it going to go to 6? I don't know. I have no idea what it's going to go to, but I know right now the price is down. That means it's on a discount. Do you like buying clothes on the sale rack or do you like paying full price? When I go to the mall, I want to buy things that are on sale. Yeah, there's a little bit of risk to it. Sure. Um, and I'm showing you guys this right now so you can see how I kind of set stuff up and what I'm looking at. So you got the MACD right now. Now, we're on the daily chart, guys. All right. So I've had a lot of people tell me, dude, you're stupid for getting into crypto. You're stupid for buying what you bought at. You know what? That's good and great. If you guys want to jump into that nonsense, by all means. But I like to look at the charts. I like to look at the information. I like to look at the data because what's crazy is there's just patterns and cycles within trading. The more you do this, the more you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe this nonsense. So we're going to talk a little bit about that real quick because right here, when the 50 crosses over, let me make that a little different. Guys, I like to make my settings a little bit different so you can see them. We're going to go to style here on the 50, all right? We're going to change the color to yellow. Let's go to red. We could leave the 200 yellow or something like that. Okay, this was a sell indicator. And look what happened. If you would have followed that, you would have sold, right? You would have done okay, wouldn't you? And look, this is a buy. Whoop, there you go. Right up there. If you want to swing trade this right here, if you were really good and you could have got out at like 350 and you had the patience and courage to really drop down to 274 and you really could have done that, hey, swing trade that bad boy, guys. And there's a lot of different exchanges that are going to cost you different fees to get in and out of stuff, but that's cool. Now, right now, there's a whole lot going on in the economy. So let's talk about that. Let's just zoom out from XRP right now. There's some real world asset leverages that are coming. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to shift. Today is September 22nd. And that's going to be an important part of our history. The DXY, it's showing the dollar's coming down a tad in the strength. I think it's at 97 something today. And silver is going up like crazy. Silver just blew through $43. It's 44 something right now as we talk. I could go look it up, but I'm on Dex Screener. And so if you're going to do this full time, I don't recommend using Dex Screener, but we're not here to talk about some of those things. We're here to talk about this stuff, that big juicy gain that everybody wants. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get rich overnight. I'm going to get a Lambo. I'm going to get that Ferrari. I'm going to go get whatever I want. I'm going to buy that $1 million mansion. Right. Okay, sure. Cool. Do all that, guys. But, if you're that guy, that modest guy says, man, 10 extra grand would go a long way for me right now. Pay attention. Listen, do I have Kita and some of those things that, man, I've doubled my money in them in the past 2 weeks? Yeah, I do. But am I here for those big juicy gains? Yeah, everybody is. Who's not, right? But at the same time, I just want the profit. I want to be better off in a year than I am right now. And where I'm at last year with XRP, I'm already so much better with this simple little crypto than where I was. Okay. And so I've got some goals. Yeah, I've bought and sold it a couple times and I've made money along the way. I caught this swing here. And I rode that up, but better yet, I caught the big swing. If we go even further back, let's look at the 3-day chart. I mean, well, it's not going to let me go back, but I was way back here at 56 cents. And I just kept catching these swings, the dollar, the $2, the $3 swing. And, I'm going to catch that next big swing. I've got a price prediction on where XRP is going. I've heard some guys talk $12 XRP by December. Ripple's got some big things happening. They got all of the legal issues out of the way. They have been cleared to go. So, we'll see what's going to happen with XRP. There's some opportunities with Ripple that could be interesting down the road, the contracts that it's got. But, guys, I'm not here to speculate. Today, I'm looking at the simple numbers and I'm looking at real world assets. I'm looking at all the things that I've got to get involved just to make a little bit extra cash, the cash that I've got to leverage it a little bit. Okay. Because if you look at the 4 hour chart, the MACD looks a whole lot different down here, guys. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you're thinking about buying, MACD says, hey, not a bad idea, you know? And even on the daily chart, and some of you may be so new, you're going, why are you looking at all this, Ryan? What are you thinking? What are you doing? Um, why do you look at the daily chart? Why do you look at the 4 hour chart? Um, the daily is going to be a lot slower to respond. I like to look at different things when I buy. I'm going to buy it a short term on the day, but I'm also going to buy long term if I'm going to hold, if I'm going to swing trade. So there's a lot of different things. But you see this candle on the daily, it's turning green. And so I've heard a lot of people talk about today's going to be a pivotal day financially for the world, for the economical system. And I don't know, guys. I'm here to speculate, but what I will tell you is let's go back to September. You could have basically over the last month, you could have seen some good gains if you could have swing traded this. If you could have looked at this simple chart, I've got the moving average, I've got the 13, I've got the 50, super easy, nothing. I mean, this is about as easy as it gets, y'all. And then I've just got the simple MACD. And so, MACD is looking pretty good on the 4 hour. And there's a lot of ways to look at resistance levels and things like that. But, most people are just looking at, should I buy? Should I not buy? I'm not here to give you financial advice. I like to look at the numbers. I like to look at the charts. Right now, it's on sale. Okay. It went up to 313 and we dropped down to a whopping 279. 279 is a whole lot better to get in than 313. Where's this thing going to go? That's the $1,000,000 question we all want to know, isn't it? Like I said, I've heard predictions anywhere from $4 to $12 by December. So if it is $12, 3 times 4, that's a 4x from where it's at today. So if you put $100 in, you want that gain. I know most people would. So if you've got $10, if you got 1,000, you got 10,000. I'm not telling you it's going to go up. I'm not telling you it's going to go down. I don't know, but we're going to talk about some other things. So if you like what you're hearing today, you like looking at the technicals, you like seeing some of these, I've done pretty good at getting pretty accurate with some of this stuff. So I don't use a lot of fancy indicators, basic stuff, guys. Follow the numbers, follow the charts, and look at your indicators and see what's happening. You need a little bit of information from the real world, what's happening out there. And I think the next couple of days is going to be pretty fascinating in our country's history and what's going to happen with the dollar. Silver's on the move, so is gold. So we've got some interesting things happen because if silver makes a new all-time high, what does that mean? Silver's always been potentially a little controlled, however you choose to see that, not see that. But, a lot of people have their eyes on XRP. They think it's a balloon underwater that is about to explode. I don't know. I'm not sure. Who knows? But, when I look at things and, when we look at, has it had the potential to the upside in the past? Yes, it has. So some people look at the gains, the Fibonacci's, and we'll look at some of these things. So a basic Fibonacci retracement here, if we just look at this, it dipped down. Let's see there. Stop that. Hold that. It dipped down right there to the 618. And most people would say that is a great time to buy if you can get something to the 618, because then they're going to come over and predict, hey, okay, so if it's done that, and let's create another one. And let's say, this is going to be our low here. Uh, they're basically going to come in here and say, okay, I'm out of room. Basically going to say go to 410. Am I saying it's going to do that? No, I'm not. Okay. I have no idea what the price is going to do. Okay. You are taking a risk. You're gambling. You're going to Vegas. Don't throw your inheritance at it unless you want to lose it all and then you want to watch other people make it. Crypto's crazy. The way you get in, how do you buy it? How do you do all this stuff? So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through on this channel a lot of the beginning steps. What does the beginning individual need to know? How do you get involved in this? Might this be the new economic system of the future? I don't know. Time is going to tell us a lot of things, guys. But if you like what you're seeing and you're interested in some of this stuff, I will get that a little bit more technical next time. My mouse is messing up on me. But, there's a lot of different ways where you can look at some of these things and make some determinations because, 618, golden mean, all these different things that look at Fibonacci retracements, price predictions, price movements. And, we're here to make a little money, maybe. We don't want to lose it, but who knows? So we're going to talk about in the next video some real world assets. What are real world assets? Why might you want to look at those? How can they help you? They're definitely going to be some high risk stuff, but where is the future moving? And why is that important to know is always going to be the questions you want to ask yourself as far as looking at where are we headed, because you want to make the moves now before the momentum gets there, because when the momentum gets there, if you bought the top of XRP at 350 because it was going up and you were excited, oh, it's going up, well, all these people that bought in down here at a 217, they're going to take their profits. And they did. And then what happened? Well, you lost some money. That's not what we're here to do. So don't be that guy that buys the tops, because if you always buy the top, you're always going to sell the low, because you're going to put you might have thought, oh, it's going up. You stayed in. Oh, it went right back down. And if you would have known, hey, just wait, be patient. Don't make an impulsive buy. Be educated before you hit that buy button, because when you buy, if you know what you're doing, that's when you're going to make your money. Okay. So let's talk about some education and making some smart moves that might potentially have some opportunities for you down the road. But once again, I'm not a financial advisor, guys. I'm just another guy just trying to leverage some money and do a little better today than I did yesterday. So if you like this, hey, hit that like button. And I sure appreciate you guys' time. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.